Today we are going to talk about wrestling, race, and hair, and all that's coming up after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. So it's OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time, and today we are going to talk about wrestling, race, and hair. Now, normally, I try to stay away from race and or politics on the show because, well, I started this channel to talk about Oklahoma football, college football, sports in general, but this story stuck in my craw, not just because it's sports related, but because it's wrestling related, and we know how much I love wrestling, the Olympic sport and pro wrestling. I love them both. But when this story came across my timeline on Twitter, I nearly blew a gasket because this just could have been avoided. It could have been avoided by all parties. But let's start with a referee at Buena High in Atlantic City, New Jersey, told a black wrestler who had locks that he must cut his locks if he wanted to compete. It was either that or forfeit the match. Now, myself, I'm thinking there are solutions to this that don't require cutting this man's hair. One, braid his hair up, right? And then it goes over the headgear, stays out of the face, nobody gets injured. Two, give him a skull cap. This is something I've seen done in Oklahoma for children with long hair. And three, give him a do-rag. Somebody had a bandana of some sort that they could have lent this child to wrestle. But no, he had to sit there and let what I think is an athletic trainer cut his hair so that he could wrestle one match. Now, the way that they chose to frame this story was that he's the ultimate team player because he won the match in overtime and sudden victory. But a win ain't gonna grow this man's hair back. And then there is the added just terrible story that this referee, whose name is Alan Maloney, has racist history in his past. The Courier Post has a story about this referee being at a tournament and being in a private place with other referees where he got into a dispute with a black referee over homemade wine, chose to poke the black referee in the chest, whose name is Preston Hamilton, and call him the N-word to his face, to which Hamilton responded like a lot of folks would respond if they were called the N-word to their face, which is to slam him to the ground. Now, Hamilton reported the incident. Maloney says for his part, yo, I don't remember saying the word, but I believe the witnesses who said that I did. Okay, whatever. And then the governing commission decided to suspend them both for a year. Now, that all in of itself is just wild, because if we're going to use that kind of language, I think we need to go farther than sensitivity training and suspension. We need to be banning folks because this is not the kind of language that we want used in places where children are present, right? I don't understand how you think a year suspension and sensitivity training is going to prevent behavior that is borderline racist to absolutely racist. Now, whatever you think about having to cut your hair to wrestle, whether it's safety hazard or not, we have evidence that shows that there are wrestlers with big hair who weren't told, yo, cut your hair or you can't wrestle. I wrestled, man, and no, I didn't have locks when I wrestled, but I know lots of people that did, and it was never an issue. Hair was never the thing. It was always, can you wrestle or can you not? Is this gonna get somebody hurt or is it not gonna get somebody hurt? And as a person who grew up worshiping at the altar of Dan Gable, of Cale Sanderson, meeting Johnny Hendricks, who was an idol of mine at Oklahoma State, getting to know Jack Spates, getting to know Mark Cody when I was the only dude covering wrestling at Oklahoma for the Oklahoma Daily. It's a near and dear sport to my heart, and I can't stand it when race and or politics get in the way of one of the purest forms of competition that I know of. You are in the same weight class. You are mano a mano. Nobody knows what wrestlers do except wrestlers. The sweat, the blood. Also, you can get to the mat and have somebody tell you you can't wrestle until you cut your hair? Come on, man. New Jersey, what are we doing here? No, enough with this referee. Get Alan Maloney out of the sport. We need all the Alan Maloneys out of the sport because the sport is worth more than racially charged rule setting, and it's worth more than having a referee who thinks that he can poke another guy in the chest, use the N-word over a dispute about homemade wine. At some point, the rehabilitation needs to take place elsewhere when this man is not going to be around children who love the sport of wrestling. All right, that's it for me. Deuces.